And then on behalf of my department and on my own behalf, I wish to extend our appreciation to the manager, the MD, and the staff of the bank, and also all other banks to follow suit, because this is a national issue. The more you equip the police, the more efficient they become.
The police stopped brass after receiving the handsome donation pledged to put it to good use. For GRTS News, I am Ajay Amisise.
You can follow that story and other GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. We'll be back with more stories right after this short break. Welcome back. The two presidential hopefuls in Senegal, the incumbent Abdoulaye Wade and Macky Sall, have taken their intense vote-gathering battle to the strategic city of Thiès. The city is the stomping ground of former Wade Prime Minister Idrissa Seck, who is now back in the candidature of Sall. At a mass political rally in the city, the incumbent wasted little time to lash out at his opponent. The city of Thiès has a staggering 270,000 registered voters, making it a crucial decider in the last lap of the race. We have details in this report.
The city of Thiès, some 70 kilometers east of Dakar, has become the scene of a major electoral battle between Abdoulaye Wade and Macky Sall. This is the stronghold of Wade's former Prime Minister Idrissa Seck, who was forced to drop out of the race after a poor showing in the first round. Happy with the strong turnout, Wade was quick to criticize Macky Sall, leading up to the face-off on March 25th. He is like a witch doctor. He does not realize the cost of all this, and he makes mistakes. At the Place de France Square, Abdoulaye Wade tried to win over the supporters of Idrissa Seck, who are backing Macky Sall. Several hours earlier at the same square, Macky Sall and local opposition leaders, including Idrissa Seck, had rallied the troops. Sall said he will not let them down. Thiès has just proven that Senegal is united, and I am aware of my responsibility here. Wade was promising to make Thiès the second capital of Senegal, but Macky Sall promised to solve the problems of youth unemployment. Young people are a sizable percentage of the 270,000 registered voters here.
After watching members of the Malian army go on rampage during the early hours of the coup that toppled the civilian government of Ahmadou Toumani Touré, coup leader Captain Amadou Haya Sanougou has been making efforts to curtail the damage done by the image of the army. Meanwhile, a number of prominent politicians in the West African country have condemned the coup, calling on the coup leaders to relinquish power and make an immediate return to the barracks. For more on that story, we turn to CFI report.
The situation remains unclear in Mali 3 days after the putsch against President Amadou Toumani Touré. The soldiers backing the putsch are trying to control the situation in the streets of Bamako, where pillaging appears to be the order of the day. Putsch leader Captain Sanougou was critical of the pillaging and vandalism and called on civil society leaders to join the National Unity Committee. We want reforms, and those who also want this can count on us. The various branches of our civil society can be counted on. We must sit down and talk. With him were men from all different services of the military, and he said that the military remains united, but he has not been followed by the important politicians in Mali. Most of them have condemned the coup d'etat. Constitutional order must be re-established. The election schedule must be maintained and the date kept the same. Only the opposition party Sadi, led by Omar Mariko, praised and justified the putsch. When misery is everywhere, there must be a solution. The Putsch leaders are also isolated outside the country. The African Union has suspended Mali. The Union and ECOWAS are preparing a mission to Bamako. The whereabouts of President Touré are unknown.
We have been told that the president is safe, protected by a certain number of loyalists. It's correct? Loyalists? Mm-hmm. Loyalists.
The indirect cause of the coup d'etat, the rebel Tuaregs in the north. Their leaders in Nouakchott announced that they are ready to negotiate. Their goal is the taking of the Azawad region, nothing more.
Thousands of protesters, mainly African American, are calling for the opening of an investigation into the shooting death of Trayvon Martin, a young African American, by a white Hispanic volunteer guard. The man says he shot the teenager who was unarmed at the time in self-defense. Speaking at the White House, President Obama weighed in on the issue, calling for the matter to be looked into seriously. Let's look at this report for more on that.
The case has shaken America to its core. On February 26, Trayvon Martin, a 17-year-old black boy, was shot and killed in Florida by George Zimmerman, a 28-year-old white man of Hispanic origin. The teenager had just bought himself some sweets. It was raining. He put on his hood. Zimmerman, a volunteer guard on a neighborhood watch, decided to follow the boy. He called 911.
He's got his hand in his waistband. He's a black male.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
Yeah. But Zimmerman did and fired. The neighbors called the police. There are many volunteer neighborhood watch guards in the state of Florida. The state's law, called Stand Your Ground, authorizes a citizen to shoot at anyone if they feel threatened. It is this law that has so far protected George Zimmerman, who was released by the police when he said he acted in self-defense. But the fact is that young Trayvon was unarmed. The parents of the young victim are now fighting for justice.
They're treating this as my son is the perp. My son is the victim here. There's no reason why he should have been in that situation. No reason whatsoever.
Thousands of people have taken to the streets throughout the country in support of Trayvon's family and to denounce a crime that was allegedly based on racial discrimination. President Barack Obama himself stepped into the emotional storm.
You know, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. I think they are right to expect that all of us, as Americans, are going to take this with the seriousness it deserves, and that we're going to get to the bottom of exactly what happened.
Protesters claim that Trayvon's killing is just the last example of racial profiling and unjust treatment of blacks. The case will be presented before a grand jury in Florida next month.
We'll now take our second break. Sports is next. And in sports, Brikama United came from behind to draw the first leg of their African Club Champions League doubleheader against Tunisia heavyweights Esmeralda de Tunis. The away side took an early lead courtesy of Bozi Wadji following a sloppy defending from the host in the 4th minute. The setback spurred Brikama United into a meaningful action, hitting back with a 10th-minute equalizer by Musa Bojang. The two sides will contest the second leg of their encounter in the North African country with the balance at 1 apiece. And before we take leave of you, a reminder once again of our headline-making stories. The Health and Social Welfare Minister has presided over the official handing over and commissioning of a newly built clinic and laboratory facility at the Mile 2 State Central Prison. The Anti-Tuberculosis Coalition has been highlighting the gains made in the battle against the stubborn respiratory disease and the huge challenges that lie ahead. President Abdoulaye Wade campaign caravan and that of his opponent Macky Sall have stormed the important city of Thiès hours apart, with Wade using his visit to lash out at his former ally Idrissa Seck. And President Barack Obama has weighed in on the race-row contagion sparked by the killing of an African-American teenager by a white Hispanic volunteer guard, this after resisting the urge to comment on the raging controversy for weeks. You can follow those stories on other GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. That brings us to the end of our midday news. Thanks for watching and stay tuned and enjoy our range of interesting programs. Until then, my name is Abubakar Dabo.